Hi, good day to you all. This is your host, Dr. Peter. And as usual, we're going to start with our trading instruments, DXY. Before I flip to higher time frame for a better understanding, there is one thing I want everyone that is watching this to understand. The price direction on the higher time frame would always follow the analysis. However, the most challenging is for you to gain entry on the lower time frame, because a whole lot happens on the lower time frame, and a lot of times if you're not getting it right, you begin to question yourself that where exactly are you, and emotion sets in. You could lose money, lose it all, and you get panicky, you get afraid, you get emotional. When you are within consolidation, it can be quite difficult, very difficult to place trade, to know where exactly the trade is going to. But the trade will do what it will do. I always tell people that you don't work with your emotion, work with your head, or work with knowledge. And if you do that, you will know when to use a very considerable lot size trading, and when the trade is ready to move and to shift direction or continue in its movement, you can decide to put in more money to trade. Because within consolidation, there will be a lot of up and down movement, and you have to understand where we are. And of course, again, it's going to be apparent also when the trade is ready to leave that consolidation zone and progress. So don't get emotional. This trade will always do what it's set to do. But when it's consolidating, you have to quickly do a lot to understand the interplay, the interchange, the twist and turn that the trade is trying to make. And this is why I'm here to assist us that, because for instance, when you see this consolidation, the movement around this area, might actually be close to 100, 200 pips. And considering the lights, the size of your account and the lot size you are using, if it's that big, it can chop off your money and you get emotional. One thing is that consolidation requires your patience. It requires you to don't lose your edge. Always ask the right questions. Always ask, even if you don't know, always ask. But we are always in a rush to make money. Consolidations are meant to keep you worried, anxious, and if you're in a hurry, you will close and you will lose money. That is the purpose of consolidation. So without saying much here, let me flip to weekly time frame again to look at what the price had done here. On the weekly time frame, I've told us that we are still within this trade here. That we expect a 5 waves and a 1, a 2, a 3. Now we have completed the 4th wave here, and the price is going to go higher for the last wave. At times, you don't want to trust the price action that you are seeing or the way the candle is closing. like you are seeing here, that the price had broken the top here. If you are in a rush, all you want to do is to begin to sell because you believe that this is going to close bearish. But I would tell you that it is not still time to sell because I don't believe that the momentum to the upside is done here. But I still believe that this price has a knack of actually going all the way to test between 101,580 area. That's where I'm expecting the price may push up to before we see that reaction around this area, exactly at the top here. At the top here, it may break it slightly or not. Between 550, 100, 101, 550, 101, 580 area, I expect reaction to the downside. But in terms of trying to look at the wave and the structure, you know, we have one structure here which is completed, two structure completed, three structure completed, four structure completed, but I still believe that we are within the fifth wave uncompleted now. So we are still going to see more push to the upside, regardless of not the color or the way the candle is closing, but with with whatever we see on the lower time frame. Now, if we flip to the daily time frame, so the candle alone will not tell you, but what you expect in terms of the Fib analysis and relationship of the waves that is being created. Now, of course, we have wave 1 here, wave 2 here, then in terms of wave 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 completed here, then this is the big wave 4, and the price is pushing up. Now, within this wave itself, what can be very confusing for most people is to see this as A, B, C completed here, and that this push to the upside, because it is impulsive, that it has ended the move to the upside, and that the price wants to come down because of this push to the downside. You know, this is a big push to the downside. It looks impulsive up, it looks impulsive down on the day time frame, and now the price is pushing up. All these ones can get anybody confused. When you see this is what exactly consolidation is meant to do. But the thing is that we now have a break on top of this one that could connote a momentum shift gradually to the upside, not until we break properly. Now, to break this area now will be that the momentum is shifting to the downside on the daily. But that will be a big gulp because you miss a whole lot in the middle. So let's switch to the 4-hour time frame to look more if this is completed or not. On the 4-hour time frame, now this is where we are. This is what could be confusing, you know. Let's look at it again. We have wave 1 that went up as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's wave 1. We have a wave 2 that also came down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now in between wave 3, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of of the first 3, 3, 1, 3, 2 here, then 3, 3, 3, 4 here, then 3, 5 here. Then for a wave 4, a bigger wave 4, what I see really is what I see a more consolidation here of a wave. This is the low of a wave 4 so far, at here a WX, or let's say an ABC here, and the X here and the Y wave here. So it might look like a WXY here. Now, this wave in itself, this could have finished up the move as a wave 5 here, but you have to pay attention to what exactly had happened in between here. In between here, it seems like, okay, we have a 1, 2, but these, let me show us something here. let me switch somewhere here for you to understand what I'm trying to say. If I switch here and I bring out this drawing here, now bring it out the drawing. Good. Let me bring out the drawing here. Now, this here, from this low up here, all this one went up as a single trade. In here and here, of course, if you plot here, this one is a clear, probably the first wave, the second wave. Now, look at this one. It's a single wave. It is not a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because otherwise, price supposed to have broken out of these as give us a fourth wave, then a push to the upside. I will now say that this is completed. That is not what it gave us here. That is certainly not what it gave us there. So I think this is what the price had done to create this whole mess as the first wave, an A, B, and a C. And this one came down sharply as an A and a B and a C here. Now, with the move here, this is where the real thing is. If this is done to the upside, and this is the first wave to the downside, this shouldn't have gone impulsively. So this one looks like an impulse, but is a three-wave ABC. Looks like an impulse. This also came down like an impulse. So of course, this to me looks like a C wave. And this, not until we break the low of this. So if we should break the low of this, then I will believe that now we are ready to go back to the downside. But as we are going to the upside now, the momentum has shifted to the upside here for me. Now, to understand how to trade and how to plan this, I will still be looking for buy for a push to break up properly, to break this properly to the upside. I think with 5 is not done. So on the 1 hour time frame, how do I plan? This is the way I want to plan this trade. Now, like I said, it looks like a 1, 2 here, and you know, this could have been an internal with 4 and with 5 of 3. Then we didn't see that push, you know. But it's just like a straight line and a straight line, and this is going up. Now, these had gone up like a 5 waves, and these are things you must understand about price movement and how to know where you want to plan entry if you didn't gain an entry here. So this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you pay attention here to this one here, you will see that this had completed is completely a wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you plot this and this is broken to the downside. So now, with this move to the downside, this could it be a complete correction of this wave? Another thing that you want to set, the way you also can set, align yourself is this, that in this movement to the upside that looks impulsive, this may be wave 1, wave 2. The all of this may have completed with 3, and that this looks like a wave 4. If that is what it is, that this is a wave 4, then this may be climbing up as a 1, 2, probably 3, 4, 5, to finish this one as a wave 5, that we now have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is a thesis. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we now see an ABC correction to the downside to now give us a 1, a 2 for the price to move up. But another thing that you could see here is that for me, I'd seen this as a complete 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. when price gives you a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, then I expect a correction. So these may just be a wave A of that, a B wave or a wave 2. Now, if that is the case, then I will say this: if this is an A and this is a B, price may fall down one more time to give us a C wave before we now have accelerated wave 3 to the upside. So what I'm trying to say now is that I won't be buying DXY around this area. I'll rather wait for this to do one or two things. That 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 if it breaks up, or it is completed, it's an A, B, C to the downside before I move. When this will stop being a possible correction for it to break low, because if it's an impulse, a correction, it could be an impulse. I would expect an impulse. If I see an impulse, then I would expect this impulse that it will take this low, break this low before they go up. That is what I would expect. It looks corrective to the downside. Now, if I bring down my drawing here, so I want you to understand how we look at this thing. If this is a correction, if this is a correction for downside, this will not break this to the upside. If this breaks to the upside, then it means that A, B, and a C here, once it breaks above here, then it is not A, B, a C to the downside. If it breaks above here, it will mean that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Then I will now expect a bigger correction to the downside. But if it's an A, B, C, if this is an A, then, and this is a B wave, without breaking 100, 300 to the upside, then I want to see it retest around this area. Then all you now do, once the price begins to, the first thing that price would have to do if they are coming down is to take this low, break it to the downside. So once it breaks to the downside, then you begin to count your 5 waves and see where wave 3 is going to be. Then you can plan to look for your buy. That is how to trade. So for now, this is seen for me as an A, B, C to the downside to complete the bigger wave 4, and now we are going up impulsively. So this is still an impulse to me. Otherwise, if price is not going to, is going to fall, then it should be more of a correction here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wouldn't have come into play at all. So we need to wait for what the price will do here. 2 things: a 4th wave, a 5th wave, a bigger correction, or that the bigger correction already is in place as an A, B without breaking this area, and price will turn down to give us a C wave that's going to be sharp. Then impulse or impulsive, then afterwards we can look for another wave to the upside. If we take that to euro dollar, I expect the same across board. Euro dollar, I expect the same across board. Now we can see this push. Now, this push is looking like we are going to go up and take this top again. So it's more clearer here than the 1, 2, 3 here, 4, and a 5 that is done. This may be an A B wave, and a C wave to push up to break, of course, without taking this top here. We might be seeing euro dollar pushing up again. So if you see a push up, is not a buy yet. It's not a buy. It's just the last correction to the upside, and price is going to fall thereafter. So it is just giving us the structure that we expect as a 1 and a 2, then a big 4 to break all this low as a 3. Then we look for its 4th wave before. So I still see that it's a down for me. But what the price does in between, creating those corrections, is what can be tasking and challenging, that if you want to begin to sell from here, it might not be a good idea. Then you must know that the price, without breaking this top, would visit this area. So if you want to load in your gun to sell, allow price to push up to break this top around this area, then confidently you can say a wave 1 is completed, a wave 2 is completed without breaking 1650 or 1660 here, without breaking that place. That would be the ultimate for price to do now. Then the price should begin to move down. Yeah, and break down. That's what I would expect now. Now, where do I expect this price on the bigger time frame to terminate if we are going to finish the wave 5 correction? Up to now, unlike when we saw that fake breakout for a DXY, these are not even breaking down the low yet. So we are still in the middle of making a wave 5. So I expect that we should see reaction between 1.12 800 area. Let me see. To 1.12 300 area. That is where I think this is going to react to the upside. Around this area, price may be coming here. Around this area between 1.12 950, 1.12 3, okay, 700. All right. Between 1.12 700, 1.12 950 area, this potentially may come down before they push up. But it's still in the making. This top is not for sale for now, if I may use that. Now, if you go to Pan USD, is the same. Pan USD will still see much fall coming in, much fall coming in. So it's still going to fall the more. Yeah, this may have given us a wave 1, a wave 2, and this may be going down as a wave 3 to break down here. But this also on the 1 minute time frame, 1 hour time frame, if you look at it for pound USD, so this may be a wave A, B, and a C going to the upside. A break out of here now, then you're going to sell to the downside. NZD USD also is grinding down, and that will continue to push down. This potentially, could push so down. In this case, can we see a break up here? Is it possible? We already have a 1, 2, or let's say 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. This may be A. Would this be a B wave? Let's see. If it could be a B wave, let's see. It's not impossible. And these are things we need to understand about wave format or wave structure. Now, could this be an A-B wave? Let's see. It is possible. It is absolutely possible. Yes. It could still be and give us an extended flat to the upside. It's possible. So it's possible that we have a break of this to the upside. If we see that this will not be taken, it might take this to the upside. Let's see where it could get to. If they are going to correct it, of course, I expect it around this area now. Without breaking the top, I expect it around this area. Price may come around 5, 7, 490 or 480 area. without breaking 5,7,580. Price may come close here and before they fall again. So that's what I see here. If they would do that, if price. So this has a tendency to still come up. When you see that it's not a buy, it's the last wave ABC correction for a further fall. Is not done. USD JPY also is not done. Is not done. So this will technically still be, this is a complete wave here. This may technically be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This may be an A wave, a B wave, then the C wave may be coming down to take this low. If we get it to take this low, good for us to look for. So it might still give us a fall to around this area without taking this low. If we get that, then we look for a buy. Euro JPY. Euro JPY, okay. This may be pushing up from here. It may be pushing up from here. ABC may be pushing up from here. CHF JPY. CHF JPY. Yes. This may still be coming low, except it breaks this top now. This still has a tendency of an A, B, and a C. Probably here is a 1, A, B, C, here with 2. If this one would drop, then we should be expecting it around this area, you know, before it pushes up. It's not going to break down. If it's continue to go up and break the top, then they are done here. But otherwise, I still see a push to the downside before it goes up. Then the last is gold. We had expected this reaction, but the price seems to have given us a WXY to the upside, a W, an X, and a Y, or you can call it an ABC to the upside. It's slightly, you know, a shy away from 100 extension before we saw this big drop. Now, with this big drop, you have to be very, very careful to buy this trade. I think there is a tendency for the price to still fall more since it has broken this structure now. We have to look at the 15 minutes time frame structure that the price took to the downside. The first 15-minute structure is this, that the price took to the downside, took this and also are taking this to the downside. And it's not for the fun. When price does that, it's signaling that they want to come down. Now, will this begin to fall from here? Maybe not, maybe not, maybe not. We might see, probably we might see an A, B, C, the last push before we come down. Or that we are already seeing an A, B, C here, because this is impulsive. This may just, either it goes up one more time or begins to fall from here. But I wouldn't expect that this structure here, this 15 minutes time frame will be taken. I wouldn't expect that. So, but we have to be very careful to buy this. It's looking like a sell to me with this big push to the downside. Another thing is that you would have thought that this may be an A, then in the middle A, B, C. It doesn't look like that because of the extension to the upside. It's way more than what you expect of, you know, a B wave. So if this is an A, B, C for a push, it doesn't look like that. So we have to be very careful. You should be looking for a price action. If you want to sell this really, if you want to sell this and you're not in the sell, you can wait for price to finish its movement to the upside. Allow it to break this structure to the downside for more downside. With that, I've come to the end of this week update. Do have a lovely week. Like, share, and share this with your friends and family. Thank you.